Hello there. I just watched the movie Christmas as Usual, and this is a typical Christmas movie where it's cultures collide. So a man from India, basically on December 1st, it becomes a joke where it's like, oh, we haven't known each other long. In India, we would have kids already. They'd be going off to college because apparently they'd been dating for only a short period of time. And he's like, okay, let's get married. I want to get married to you. And then she basically invites him to visit the family for Christmas. And she's from Norway. So he goes to Norway with her to spend Christmas with the family. And yeah, all the jokes are basically on the fact of what they eat, the blandness taste of white people's food, you know, that kind of joke. The overly seasoned Indian food, the stuff. Honestly, I took offense at one of the scenes in there because it was just like there was a spice and it was just the Hindu spice, and I was just like, really? But then again, it's like that. If you are in certain areas of the world, they just name it offensively. I mean, we have plenty of those here in the U.S. I know there are versions of the like it'll just say America or USA on the food label, and it's just the over stereotyped kind of. It's funny, but it's still offensive at the same time. But I was like, okay, I get it. But it was just uncomfortable. I was kind of hoping for a big family dynamic, and it wasn't. It was a small, tight-knit family. It was his fiance now, because they got engaged. Her brother's wife, and her brother's daughter, and her brother's daughter, and her brother's wife happens to be pregnant, and then the mother. That's it, because the father passed away like the year prior. Yeah, and it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I enjoyed some of the jokes, like the family's atheist, yet because it's Christmas, they go to church, and it's just because it's Christmas. I like that kind of stuff because I've seen them witness that kind of stuff, and I find it entertaining. It is funny when people do that. It's just like, okay, it's just a cultural thing. It's you have to do it because it's just expected. I thought that was funny. So some of the things worked, but other than that, I was uncomfortable throughout. I was uncomfortable because it's like, imagine the worst stereotypes of Norway, the worst stereotypes of India, the worst stereotypes of anything, and just throw it all together. And it's just, oh my gosh, what the heck? It's like, okay, I understand it's supposed to be funny. I understand it's supposed to be a comedy, but there's a balance to it. And right here, it just goes so over the top that I was just kind of uncomfortable. There were certain aspects I thought if they would have done it more, you know, undertone, like some of the things like the in-law, a little confused with how to relate towards this Indian, the mother-in-law, all this stuff. It would have been kind of comedic, but it just felt a little rough. And I did not like how both of them, both the man and woman, were completely about themselves. They were disliking the other person's and not perceiving the other person's perspective on it. Yes, you can argue that the Indian, Kanan, who acts, the Kanan Gill, I think his name is, who acts in this movie, he would be the most uncomfortable, but at the same time, he purposefully goes out of the way to make himself uncomfortable. He really does. At certain times, you'll just think like, oh, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, nope. But he just tries to fit in, tries to do more than he should, and it's just like, dude, you're not Norwegian. You don't act like you're one of them. It's just as offensive as the spice that he had. It's just like ridiculous. I was like, okay, this is a little over the top, but again, it's a Christmas movie, so it's to be expected. They're not the best. They're supposed to be about family. They're supposed to be about getting together. But oh my gosh, both the main characters, they just were so involved with themselves because the fiance, well, they're both fiancés, I guess. The female just wanted to make everything perfect for her mother. And the male just wanted to be included and defended by his fiance, and it makes sense why he wanted that. But at the same time, he was forcing these situations. There was one thing where she was like, where the fiance basically said, oh, we should make dinner for them and do something special and then tell them we're engaged. So what does he do? He goes out of his way to cook them a delicious meal, and apparently it's a huge deal. It's like, no, we'll make dinner special by just telling them we're engaged. It's just like, oh my gosh, all this stuff, the miscommunication. It's like, if you're in that situation, Just stand back, watch, just wait till you're told to do something. Heck, if you go visit your in-laws family, just wait, just stand there. Especially with cultural differences, just like or just I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Should I do something, or should I just stay back? I mean, it was so awful to watch. But I did enjoy it somewhat, but at the same time, the cringiness of it was not worth the time I put into this movie. Because the entire time, I just couldn't like any of the characters. I mean, I do feel like I could relate to that situation, but at the same time, it was so over the top that I didn't like it. Because I don't like it when the characters can't even see. Now, if one of them was so fixated on one thing that couldn't see the other side, I'd be okay with that, as the other one was basically trying to do their best. But no, both were just thinking about themselves the entire time, and I couldn't think. No, there's no going past this. There's no going past this. They're both so self-centered. They're not likable characters, but that's just how I saw it. Thank you all for watching. I don't recommend this movie. I honestly don't. I mean, I like Kanana as a comedian, but this movie just didn't do it for me. Didn't do it for me. He should start making jokes about sandals again and the musical instruments. Absolutely funny. But this movie, no, definitely not. Thank y'all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles.